With the NFL season only a few weeks away, I wanted to do a more updated predictions video. My last predictions video was early in the offseason, right after the draft. A lot of things have happened since, so I want to take that all into account while I'm making this prediction video. I will be picking every single game this NFL season. However, I will be going division by division, starting with the AFC East. We're going to go alphabetical order. So we're going to start with the Buffalo Bills. So the first game of the season is a super exciting one. Ravens, Bills, playoff rematch in week 1. I have it pretty much going the same way. Bills get a close win in week 1 and start off 1-0. I have them over the Jets. I think they are just a way better team than the Jets. Same with the Dolphins. The Dolphins, I don't know about the Dolphins this season. They just feel super off. And the Bills, I don't know. They just feel really strong this season. Saints should be an easy win. Patriots might be a little more challenging this year, but I have them taking at least the first matchup. Falcons, I think they crush the Falcons. Panthers, they're way better than the Panthers. Bills, Chiefs. This is a great game in week 9. This could go either way, but I don't know. The Chiefs haven't felt as strong as they have. I just have the Bills this time. Something about the Bills losing in Miami. I don't know what it is. Even with Miami kind of not being that good this season, I think they at least take one win over the Bills. Buccaneers. This is actually a pretty intriguing matchup. We'll see how the Bucs do with their new offensive coordinator. I think they're due for a little bit of regression this year, so I'm going to just take the Bills here. Bills, Texans. They kind of just crush AFC South teams. Bills, Steelers. This is actually kind of an interesting matchup. The Steelers could win this matchup. The Bills offense on paper doesn't look all that strong, but then again, Josh Allen is the entire offense. He could probably make it work with what he's got. And they haven't really added that much in free agency to the offense. They added Joshua Palmer, who I think could have a decent season. Still going to pick the Bills here. Bengals, Bills. Another fun matchup. I don't know who the Bengals are stopping this year. They aren't stopping the Bills. It's going to be like 40-38 in this game. Maybe not that much. The Bills defense is actually pretty good. This time, I have the Patriots winning. Patriots, I don't think they get swept this year. Call me crazy. I think they get one of these games. I mean, they could also get swept and be kind of a disappointment. But I choose to believe that they're going to be at least a decent team this year. Maybe like a dark horse playoff contender. Are we serious? This is not even a question. Eagles, Bills, potential Super Bowl matchup? Who knows? I have the Bills in this one. Could go either way, to be honest. It's really a toss-up. And I have the Bills sweeping the Jets. They're going to sweep at least one of these AFC East teams. And that leaves the Bills with a 15-2 record with the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think they're due for a strong season. I don't know. I just feel good about the Bills. We say this literally every year. I mean, they do well in every regular season. It's just whether or not they can really do it in the playoffs. They just haven't yet. I at least have them being really strong in the regular season. I think Josh Allen can get a second MVP in a row, but they hate voting consecutive MVPs. It's probably going to be switched up to somebody else. But I like the Bills overall. I like what they've done with the defense. Joey Bosa is an underrated signing. I don't really see many people talking about it. I think that's a really solid signing to really replace Von Miller. They don't really play the exact same position, but more pass rushers, the better. The offense doesn't look all that great on paper, but you know, Josh Allen and James Cook is probably going to be pretty productive. Khalil Shakir dealing with some injuries, but Keon Coleman is going to get fed. Joshua Palmer might actually have a career year this year. We'll see what they do in the playoffs this year. The Miami Dolphins are up next. I don't know, something just feels super off. Like last season just didn't really go well. They've kind of been stuck in neutral for basically most of Mike McDaniel's tenure. Tua's not really been the guy, and McDaniel's scheme has kind of been figured out at this point. I don't know if they really improved. Tyreek Hill doesn't want to be there, and we're already facing injuries with Achane. He's probably going to be fine, but we're hoping it's not lingering. I don't know. I just feel like teams have figured out the Dolphins at this point. So, starting out the year, it's Daniel Jones. This is definitely a winnable game, but I'm taking the Colts. Patriots, we already have them losing to the Bills. The Jets take this one. Even the Panthers. And for good measure, they even lose to the Chargers. Tough start to the season. And it doesn't get a whole lot easier, but at least they get their first win in week 7. Yeah, I'm really down on the Dolphins this year. They lose to the Falcons. I think the Falcons might be a sleeper team. They'll get a good amount of wins. Ravens probably lose. But in week 10, they win against the Bills, and maybe this lights a fire. They don't win in Spain, though. The Commanders are pretty good. But they have the Saints. I think they win that one. They lose to the Jets again because December football and Miami don't really work together. But hey, they beat the Steelers. They take the Bengals in an upset. It only can go so long. They lose to the Buccaneers. But they avenge their loss against New England. And that leaves them 6-11. Yeah, this prediction's kind of all over the place. Admittedly, I'm just not that high on the Dolphins. And though they did have a good end to the season, going 4-2 after the bye, this is a tough stretch over here. I mean, there are definitely plenty of winnable games. The Dolphins, if they don't suck as bad as I think they will, they can easily win 9 games. There are definitely at least 9 winnable games on the schedule, maybe 10. If Mike McDaniel can really figure out how to evolve his scheme further, they could win 10 games and be a wildcard team. Their offensive line has not been that good. They've been kind of rolled in a lot of joint practices. Their defense has some players, but man, that secondary does not look good. Welcome back, Minka. Hopefully this season's a little better than what I projected for you. Up next, I have the New England Patriots. Very much could be a sleeper team. They got a new head coach who had a lot of success with the Titans, and they got Drake May, who should have a breakout year. Travion Henderson looks great in preseason, looks great in training camp, and this defense should at least be upper half in the league. Maybe even top 10. So, they can very easily be a good team this year and push for a playoff spot. So, against the Raiders, I have them winning that first game. I already have them beating the Dolphins here. Steelers, good test for them. I think they lose this one. They should beat the Panthers. They lost against the Bills in the first matchup. Should easily beat the Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons. Falcons could be a decent team this year. So I actually have the Falcons winning this one. I think the Buccaneers are a bit of a better team than the Patriots right now. And I don't think they sweep the Jets. I think the Jets take one. This could actually be a pretty exciting game, but I have the Bengals edging them out. Giants, I think they are better than the Giants. Should easily win this one. Have them winning against the Bills one time. The Ravens are a better team than them. And then they get their revenge against the Jets. They dropped the final game of the year against the Dolphins. However, they are 9-8. Based on the schedule, they could definitely get 10 plus wins if everything goes well. But I just have a few concerns. Their wide receiver core is bad. They have an old Stephon Diggs who is coming off of a major injury and not really anybody behind him. We'll see if anybody steps up. Kyle Williams comes to mind. They got some good tight ends. Hunter Henry has been reliable. I think Drake May should at least have him. As long as Stephon Diggs is healthy, he'll get a lot of targets. I think Travion Henderson is going to be kind of the main show of this offense if everything goes right. And the defense should be able to keep him in games. So against a lot of these lower to mid-tier teams, they will be competitive in a lot of these. Against the upper teams, kind of tough. I have them winning once against the Bills because division games can be weird like that. But don't color me surprised if the Bills sweep them. Like I said, Patriots could be a good team this year. This is a little bit higher than I initially had them earlier in the offseason. I like what I've seen from Travion Henderson. Offense looks good, and I think this defense will be pretty good as well. And the last team in the AFC East is the New York Jets. And the Jets are kind of whatever this year. I have no faith in Justin Fields to be able to throw the ball, but I at least think this will be a very good rushing offense. Garrett Wilson will get targets, but after him, there isn't a single receiver worth talking about. Probably their next best target is their rookie tight end in Mason Taylor. It's a solid offensive line, maybe even the best offensive line that Justin Fields has played behind. Outside of Pittsburgh, that is. With Aaron Glenn coming, their defense should be improved, but I do have them at a rough start to the season. Losses to the Steelers, Bills, and Buccaneers. 0-3, not great, but they take one over the Dolphins. They lose the next two. Both of these are playoff teams, and I don't think the Jets are equipped to be a playoff team. But I do think they can beat the Panthers. Bengals, no. Even with their bad defense, I have a hard time seeing the offense having that much production. They can beat the Browns, though. The Browns are pretty bad, and I think Justin Fields is still a better quarterback than whoever the Browns are trotting out. They get a win over the Patriots, lose to the Ravens. No shot the Jets have this. They do take one over the Falcons. However, I don't think they beat the Jaguars. The Jaguars are going to have a pretty electric offense this season. So I don't think the Jets defense is going to be that good this season. Probably upper half of the league, but I think it's going to be in that like 15 to 12 range. Think they can beat the Saints though. And then we already decided the last two, which is 2 L's. So 7-10. An improvement over last season, but not by a whole lot. Coaching upgrade, sure. QB is still in a rough spot. Until they get a real quarterback, this team is kind of just not going to be very good. Though, the rushing game should at least make this team watchable on offense. So, with the entire AFC East picked, we now have our standings. And last, we have the Miami Dolphins. This is definitely a floor for the Dolphins, but I don't have high expectations for them. Next up is the New York Jets. Also, I don't have high expectations for them. This is kind of like a middle of the road pick, in my opinion. They could maybe get 8-9 wins if things go well, or they could just bottom out and get 4 wins. In second, we have the New England Patriots. I'm starting to get a little bit higher on them. I like what they have with Travion Henderson. I think Drake May can really elevate this offense, and that defense should be pretty good. So I think they can get a winning record this season. How much more than this? Not sure. And maybe things don't go well for them, but I'm choosing to be a little bit higher on the Patriots this year. And then in first place, Buffalo Bills. Dominant regular season. I will be making playoff predictions later on, so stay tuned for that. And we'll see if the Bills can actually have a breakthrough in the playoffs. I will see you guys in my next video, which should hopefully be coming out tomorrow.